Okay, well, good morning. So thank you, Ruth, for jumping in. Ruth had to jump in at the last minute, which is fantastic. And well, Ruth is one of the members of the Realm Chef team. And for folks who aren't members or know Author Ever After, that is who I am. I run a little community, a lovely community for romance authors at early stages of their career. And Ruth, do you want to share what you do with Realm Chef? And then I will share screen and we will dive into this. Like, this tool is so much fun.
Yes, indeed. I am Ruth Nelson. I am an indie author. I write fantasy and some coming of age YA shenanigans. And I am the content and special projects coordinator for Realm Chef. So Realm Chef is an AI tool developed by authors for authors to harness the power of AI to help humans organize and market their books, to elevate your book marketing experience to a happily ever after. Because book marketing is not often happy.
It's
so
funny when Ruth reached out and she was like, blah, 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 book marketing. I'm like, blah, book marketing. And actually this is maybe might change my mind about book marketing because it's taking away all the ick. All right. So I'm going to share screen now. Oh, I'm going to share screen and you will see this. Okay, now I'm actually, you all should be seeing, yes, you can see my application. So we're gonna start right from the beginning, right, Ruth? Do you want to walk me through it so that you're doing the talking and I'm doing the clicking?
Yes, indeed. So this is the Realm Chef app. This is what it looks like. So the first step is to go up to the top there and create a new project. We're going to show you how it works. Danika's been playing with it for a little while, so she's already got some materials there. But we're going to create a brand new project to start today. And you can title it whatever you like, whatever is most helpful to you, and create. And the first step is to upload your book. Yes. And
now the thing that I learned, because with the Billionaire's Shrubbery, did not title my chapters as chapter 1, chapter 2. I titled them with plant and metaphor and like silly titles. And so that was one thing that I learned. Chapters need to be titled like a normal human. Their chapters with chapter 1, chapter 2, and so on for Realm Chef to understand it.
It could be the number 1, the word 1, the Roman numeral 1, but it does need to be titled and broken up like that. And we can support, as you can see, we can support a variety of file types and max size per file. We can now handle, Realm Chef has been around for a little bit. We've been growing and developing and updating constantly, and we can now support like very long manuscripts, which is very helpful. Because sometimes your words, there can be a lot of them, and that's okay.
Well, how many I don't know how many millibytes. This is an 80,000 word manuscript.
So oh yeah.
I don't know. Is that a lot of words or is that not a lot of words?
I think that's right in the sweet spot, I would say, for a novel. We've been having some.
But I'm thinking for this. Okay.
Yes, and for Realm Chef as well. Like Realm Chef was sort of designed right around there, and now we are also able to handle some, fantasy authors are coming in saying, my manuscript is 150,000 words, mine is 220,000 words. We're like, that's okay. We can make that work. So our goal.
Sorry, carry on. No, carry on.
Oh, I was just going to say, Realm Chef's goal, like Danica was saying earlier, is to kind of handle all of the icky tasks, the kind of mundane tasks at lightning speed, so that authors have time back. Our kind of North Star has been to give back to authors the gift of time. So you can work on your next book, on your current book, on your just home life stuff, So now the book is already uploaded.
So that's how long it took. And that's why we wanted to show you. I could have, as you saw, I did already have it uploaded, but we wanted to show you how quickly ingests the story. And that is how long, like under 3 minutes. So
Yes.
I'm going to generate my story Bible as the very first thing.
Yes.
This is a
This
thing
is
of
the biggie.
beauty.
This is the cool bit. Story Bibles can really be a game changer in series writing or in book marketing, but manually compiling all of those details is an exhausting task. It can cost you a fortune in time or money if you're hiring other people to do it. Danica, have you ever hired somebody to create a story Bible or tried to create one yourself?
I have tried to create one myself. I find it a frustrating experience. And no, I've never hired anyone. I know somebody who does it. And so I asked her what she charges. And she charges a fair amount, fair both for her time and fair meaning like a lot. Um, and but with the benefit of having her do it was she was going to pull out like lines for social media and
Right.
things like that. The reverse outline is one of the things that I think is in this story Bible. Look at that.
It's done.
Is what
30
is,
seconds later.
yep. Okay, so you are watching all of this happen. Now and you are also
Real
watching
time.
me because I'm not always the best clicker. Okay, so where do we go from here? We can see all the cards that have been created.
You just want to scroll through so we can see all of the different tags. We have chapter summaries, location profiles, character profiles, synopsis, timeline events, a log line, a back cover blurb, and tropes.
All right.
So what's most fun? Where do you want to go first?
Well, let's start at the front. So the chapter summaries, I'm going to organize these by date, which, and then reverse date.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right, so it is giving us basically one paragraph summaries for each. And we went through, so I uploaded Realm Chef and uploaded Billionaire Shrubbery about 2.5 weeks ago. And in the 2.5 weeks since then, I've uploaded it. This is now the third time. Yesterday when I was with Ruth, it is even more on point. So it's getting smarter and smarter. So
better every week. Yes.
Yeah, you can see that it gives these fabulous little chapter summaries. What can we do? One thing that I was looking at doing is to make it helpful for me, because I have dual point of view. I can go in here and I can create a new tag if I would like and say this is going to be Virginia, Virginia POV. If I decided that was something I wanted to do, and I click that, and then I just change the tag to Virginia POV. Now, it's no longer to be with the chapter, but if I wanted to keep all of Virginia's together and all of Will's together, I could then have that, which I think for me is sometimes helpful to know what's happening and whose point of view. So there's something. And folks, if you have questions, we can't see you. Unmute and just interrupt. Let me just see. I can try to follow the chat, but I'm not very good at that.
I'm also.
Okay.
Oh yes, there's been talk about story Bibles, just how long it takes and what a long and arduous process it is. And this was done in roughly 3 minutes.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right.
So this can be helpful to go back through the chapter summaries and also the timeline events, kind of like the reverse outline you were talking about. I am currently working on a trilogy that is a sequel to the very first trilogy I ever wrote 20 years ago. And so I've been using the story Bible to refresh my memory about that world, about the characters, about their voice, about what happened in these books. That was a long time ago. So that I can then return to that world and more faithfully carry it through. So that's one of the key benefits of a story Bible, is to keep all of those, all of the narrative details of your world organized and outside of your brain, so your brain doesn't have to hang on to it. And so it's easily accessible.
Pardon me.
So yeah, you can edit the cards also, as Danica is showing.
Right, and so it's coming up nice and easy for me because each point of view changes, so I can see really clearly which is, but I can then just drop in, these are the key timeline events that happen in chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 3, and so on and so forth. So it's really simple. Just get rid of that, add that, and make it a chapter. And then scroll down every single, and I've looked through these and they are on point. They're really great. So that's another element. This, I think, is like the reverse outline, right? This timeline
Yes.
events.
Now, if you wanted to, you can, if you click on that card, you can also export it. If you see down at the bottom, you can export it or delete.
Hold on.
Oh.
Gotta get this out of the way. Okay.
Yes.
There's the export button.
Yes, so you can export it into a markdown or a text file, and then you have that outside of Realm Chef, so you have all of that information. Oh, and you can also, if you go back up to if you X out of that and go back up to Story Bible and click the Story Bible button, at the very top, the purple one, yep. You'll see that you also have all of these cards. You have the Story Bible in document form as PDF or Google Doc. So you can use all of this information. You can download it, and yeah, it's there for you outside of Realm Chef.
Pretty darned amazing. Yeah, the Google Doc is. It's not beautiful, but it is so functional. It's like all the details are there.
So nice. Yes.
I want to, let's see. Oh, there was something else. I want to see what this is
location
right now.
profiles.
Look at this.
Yes. Oh.
The heck. And this is something, okay, I just want to say, so
yes,
2 weeks ago, I said, location profiles are not really very effective because it was just showing Virginia. It was going chapter by chapter by chapter. And I was like, that's really very helpful because I want to know all the times they're in Lily Valley. Like, where is Lily Valley mentioned? And the tech team went out and then they changed it and made it so that we can do it's sorted by location. So we can see all the different places, times, chapters. Is this cool?
Yes.
Cool.
That is one thing that I want to that it's good to highlight. Like this is AI. You'll see the little note down at the bottom left there under chat that, you know, AI can make mistakes. Like it's still learning and growing, but our team's goal is just to be laser focused in response to feedback. So as soon as I got that note from Danica, and there's also the little help chat in the bottom right where you can connect directly with the team. As any issue that arises, any question, any bug, any weirdness, anything that you would prefer, you just reach out and we instantly incorporate that and work on fixing it. So it's better now than it was 2 weeks ago. It's going to be even better next week than it is right now. I'm seeing some good questions coming up in the chat. Is this only good for books that are complete? No, you can upload anything that you've got. We've had people uploading notes, you know, scattered notes, outlines, partial books, and then kind of adding to them as they go. So no, you can work with it at any stage of the writing process. And Day wants to know, how was it trained and what was used? We use a variety of AI models. So there's OpenAI, there's Claude or Anthropic. There's some open source models that have less strenuous filters so that we can be accessible to people who write more NSFW content. A lot of spicy romance writers were really asking for that. And so we've worked with combining the latest and best. And as new models are released, we adjust so that so it's always the most up-to-date and the most cutting edge, I suppose. And how is our data that was entered used beyond producing these reports? It is not. If you see on the realmchef.com homepage, there's a little FAQ about that we do not use your content for any purpose. It remains exclusively yours. It is just used for your project to enhance your storytelling experience. We don't use it. We don't do anything with it. You retain full rights to it. So and good questions, keep them coming.
James is also asking, very practical, pragmatic. This is fantastic. How much?
Yes, we have a few different plans available depending on your needs. So there is and we'll be sending out all of these links in the follow-up email, but there is the single book cook, which is great if you're just focusing on one book at a time. That is $15 a month. And then there's the multiple book cook. If you got a lot of books, you want a lot of story Bibles, that's $50 a month. And then Master Lore Chef is for like big, high authors and publishing companies with extensive needs, and that is $200 a month. So we've got a variety of options available, and you can also add on like extra, if you're on a single book cook plan and you need just one more story Bible that month, you can add that on for like $10 a book.
Cool.
So
thank you. Thanks for all the
yes.
questions. Okay, I want to show you something here. So these are the
Yes.
character cards. And I noticed that there's a secondary character, Georgia, and that is Virginia's sister, and she's not mentioned. So I would like a character card for Georgia. So I'm just going to ask in the chat here, can you create a card for Virginia's sister, Georgia, following the same model as the selected cards? And all I have to do is like control click on them and I select them. I'm going to hit that, and Realm Chef is going to then go through the document and find, yes, you can, oh, that's a good question. If we have a series, can it make a story Bible that draws on multiple books?
At this time, a story Bible only works for one book. But one way, if the books are short, if you wanted to put them all in one document and upload that and get a story Bible for that one document, that is an option. We are still, we've been really working on perfecting the story Bible, but that is definitely on our radar of needing a series Bible, like a full-on series Bible. What I've been doing is in my one project, I just upload each of the books in my trilogy, and I have a story Bible for each of those books, but it's all within one project. So I can access all of that material and work with Chef in the chat. It has access to all of those cards. It has access to all of those books, and I can still work with it in a series way, even though I don't have one big series Bible, if that makes sense. And yes, what Danica is demonstrating is awesome. Like if something seems a little off, or if there's a question, you can also use Chef as a research assistant, and it can work with you to fill in those gaps.
So now we have Georgia's character profile, and it nailed it. Yesterday, it got a little confused because there's a big scene where anyway, it got a little confused. So the only thing it got wrong was her occupation. Today, it got her occupation right. So yeah, that's as easy as that. There are other character profiles if I wanted to, I could put in and ask for, but that's all there. Now, I know you want to see the synopsis. It gives us a however many words synopsis this is. How many words is that? Maybe 150, maybe 100 words, which isn't bad. It's not something that you would want to use for marketing as is, but there are some good lines in it. And is it the one that we played with yesterday, the synopsis? Or the back cover blurb? Back cover blurb.
Back cover blurb,
That's
yes.
the fun. So the back cover blurb, this is written in third person. My book is dual POV first person. So yesterday, what we did was I just asked Chef, I highlighted this, and I'm actually not going to go through it because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we want to show you, like the marketing strategy and these things. But it was really easy to highlight it and then say, can you please rewrite this in first person dual POV? And it did. And then I said, and now can you add some humor? And it did. It added a couple of like plant metaphors, and it actually did. It wasn't something that I would use as is, but it gave me a couple of really great lines that I was able to look at and think that, if the book wasn't already published, I would have been delighted to have those lines to pull into my back cover blurb. Okay.
So much of it is just the place to start.
Yeah.
Like when you're going to write the blurb in particular, or a log line, it just staring at the blank page can be can be so annoying and discouraging. So having a place to start can be very helpful.
And logline, a free-spirited plant whisperer unexpectedly falls for a charismatic but troubled motivational speaker, challenging her to confront her fears of success while helping him overcome a dark family legacy. It's bang on. Like,
That's
for
awesome.
anyone who's read The Billionaire Shrubbery, I know a few of you have here. Does that, can you say in the chat, does that resonate with you as a log line for this story? It doesn't, yeah. Oh, there, my editor even said yes. There you go. That is the highest of praise. It doesn't have the humor of the story, but that is the story. Natasha says it is perfect. So, like, honestly, how long I would, anyway, even if I spent a day, I would never be able to write and think of that. Okay. This is why I'm so
Yes.
excited. Okay, where do you
It
want to
is very
go?
exciting.
Does anyone have questions? Oh, you wanted to look at tropes. Yes.
Yes, do look at the tropes.
That was, and I have asked also for them to look at universal fantasies and figuring out how to incorporate universal fantasies, and the team is doing
Yes,
that.
we are looking
Okay.
at that.
So, a variety of tropes. So, and interesting, this, although this isn't highlight, so character traits, we've got enemies to lovers. Yes, definitely. Family trope, definitely she is an orphan. This is an interesting thing. So I don't know if you want to talk to this. So it starts as enemies to lovers, and then of course their relationship blossoms. However, that does not make it a friends to lovers trope, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
but
Yes,
yeah.
that we are, I would make a note about that. Or microtropes. Oh, that's a great point. So I would send that as feedback and say, hey, this is good. This is how we can make it better.
Yeah.
Everything that we have, every feature that we have in Chef has come from feedback from authors. That's why I say, like, made by authors for authors. When we first started testing this months ago, we had a few of these like hardcore early customers, and they came in and said, this works, this doesn't, and I would really love, and gave us just a list of here's what I need. And tropes is one of those. It's a relatively recent addition to the Story Bible, because so many authors in our community were saying, please, can Realm Chef pull out tropes? So we've added it in, and now we get to like fine tune it and perfect it.
And yeah, and it needs, so, right, it is hallucinating a little. There is no fated mates, right? That is very strong connection, I think, but
Yes,
definitely not a
yes,
paranormal or supernatural. So,
right.
but looking at this, this is right. There's a disguise. It is not a fake relationship, but it's giving you some of those things. I didn't think of fish out of water. And fish out of water is definitely a trope for this, for a billionaire and a plant whisperer. So there, I hope that I scrolled slowly enough so that you can see a little bit there.
Yeah.
And then do you want to?
Yes, yes, you just upload the book to Realm Chef, Colette, and then you generate a story Bible, and it takes about 2.5 minutes to upload the book and ingest it, and then it takes about 30 seconds to generate a story Bible. There is page count limit. I think we're pretty robust. I'm not even sure what the upper limit is at this point. Tell me what we're dealing with here in terms of word count, and I'll give you a pretty good idea. But we're not. We've had people uploading books that are, like I was saying earlier, between 150 and 200,000 words. Yeah. Now this is the marketing strategy generator. So as you can see, you can enter what budget you have and the release date, and it will generate, sort of like with the Story Bible, a detailed breakdown of some potential ways you could,
And
like a launch plan,
I
book launch
think
plan.
that this budget and release date is new. When I
This is
played
a
with
relatively new feature, yes,
it.
within the past few
Now
weeks.
completed.
Does this work with nonfiction? Yes, I believe so. Most of our folks are fiction authors, but it'll be a card up there.
Oh, it's a
It'll be
card.
one of the tags.
Uh,
There it
Marketing
is,
strategy.
marketing
Okay.
strategy. But yes, it should be able to ingest books, and you can work with it to get a breakdown.
How many of these are there?
Summary.
Holy cow. Okay, so we've got monitoring KPIs. I'll just let you take a look at some of these things.
So it's just
So
giving you
I gave it a tiny
ideas.
budget and a long, like 3 months and only $500. So
I gave it $100 the other day. And you could also just say free, like there's no budget for this, and then you don't have to enter money. You could just say 0, and then it would give you some ideas on how to market with nothing.
Okay, this is actually way more, and I'm kind of mad about this because this is the stuff that people come to me to ask about. So
and then some objectives,
this.
some measurable objectives. When I've played with the marketing strategy, yeah, marketing with nothing sounds like a plan. I mean, it would be nice, wouldn't it? My favorite bits have been as you scroll down a little bit, you see it gives you some email templates for reaching out to people, and it gives you like a schedule breakdown. That's in some of the other cards, like, and where to allocate. So there's the email templates to reach out to influencers, to try to get them to partner. Again, just a place to start. Or an ARC team, you could use this to reach out to influencers or to build an ARC team. Then some ideas for influencers specifically.
So with 0 marketing budget, that's brilliant. Identify them, research them. Yes.
With the single book cook day, it would just be one story Bible from that one document. But you can also, as you'll see on the pricing page on the website, if you needed, an extra book that month, you could add on for, I think, $10 for a story Bible.
This.
And we have some keyword ideas, which...
Can I ask a question about that?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can only upload one book and get one story Bible, why would I pay for more than 1 month? Because I can only get the one.
Right.
Like, so why would I keep paying for like a year if I can only use it on the one book?
Well, we're about to get into the some other uses for it. There's the marketing content strategy, and then there's some ad generation and the book consultation chat. So there are multiple features once you have the one book. Once you have the story Bible, there's a lot of different use cases to which it could be put that you would want to continue to have access to.
And also, I mean, I can then just go in here and delete and upload my next book. Like, so once I'm finished with the marketing for Billionaire Shrubbery, I can upload book 2 and use this for that.
Okay. I thought she had just said we couldn't do that. That's why I was confused, that we couldn't move on to our next book when it was time.
Well, that would be it's one book a month. So it's a monthly.
It's one book a month.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a monthly plan. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was answering incorrectly. But so each month you get, for the single book, it's one book a month with add-ons if needed.
So is this being helpful to see this, folks? Here's the timeline.
Oh yeah, it gives you marketing goals, target audience that starts to dip into some of the ad generation content we're going to get into in just a second.
Right.
And gives you some ideas of free promotional tools.
And I can select them all, and I can export all the cards. And here, let me just go text file, export, download. Would it be fair to drop that into the chat so people can see what it looks like?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So after 2 months, you can have 2 books live, and after 3 months, you can have 3 live. Yes, absolutely.
No, is that right?
You're on that.
2 books.
If you're on that if you're on the single book cook plan, then you would, after 3 months, you would have 3 story Bibles, essentially.
There you go. And let's see, I'm just uploading this so that you can see what the marketing strategy looks like for there. And
yes, on a multi, after, Yes. And then the $10 add-on, yes. If you get an extra story Bible, it gives you the same features as the $15 base. And then on a if you have a multi-book cook plan, then the add-on drops to $5.
All right. I am going, so now we've got the romance. Where are we? We're 10:35. Oh, we've got time. Okay. So talk to me
This
about this
is
because I haven't played with this.
Yes, this is the TikTok script generator. So there is already a romance TikTok script template provided. And you can, it gives, like, this is something we built because a lot of our early customers have been romance authors. Realm Chef has really been fueled by meeting a need in the romance community. But you can also create a new template if you have like TikTok scripts that have been working really well for you, or a particular campaign that you've seen other people do that has worked really well. And or if you can even, I've worked with Chef back in the book consultation chat. I've asked it, once it's, it understands my book, I've got my book uploaded, then I say, okay, give me a TikTok script template with examples that would do a good job marketing my book in my genre. And then I've brought that over here and created my own template. And so then you can select the book as context. You can select a certain chapter. If you want to focus on that one chapter, you can select one of the chapter summary cards and then generate a TikTok script.
So this
is that's the script form.
That's the form. Okay. So
did you?
I thought I generated it. So
you generate? Yes.
Did I tell you? But I think so this is not from my book. So how do I get it to?
So you would want to add context. So you could go,
there we go.
down to, select a file to use as context. You can add all text, you can add chapter by chapter, and you can also select some of the cards. Like if you wanted, I've done some I wanted TikTok script focusing on a couple specific characters or a certain moment. So I have scrolled to the left up top, and I have selected a certain chapter summary card, and I've selected a couple different character profiles, and all the cards that are selected are then fed in as context when it's generating the script. So we've got the Billionaire Shrubbery chapters. Yes, is there anything else that you want to include as context for the TikTok script?
Well,
any particular chapters or character profile? Now you have a TikTok script for each chapter.
Gracious. Okay, wait, let's just see. I guess that basically we can just see it right there. When you're in his office trying to make sense of the materials, the door clicks and he's there watching you fumble. You look up, caught in the act, he says. Huh. Okay. This is good. This is very good.
And again, it kind of gives you a place to start. One of the features that is in development, we are in beta testing with some early customers right now, is an actual video ad generator. So not just the script, but the actual video ad with images and a call to action at the end. You can include your book title, but as it is right now, you could take this and you could plug it into whatever you use to make your TikTok videos, and you have a place to start.
Amazing. Okay. Any questions on that? Yes. Well, I mean, this is blowing my mind. Okay, so that's the TikTok script. How about the Facebook
ad generator? Yes.
All right.
For that,
so
you have the book that you've uploaded.
And even though I've typed billionaire probably 8,000 times, I still get the order wrong. It's not because it's my fingers doing it wrong. It's not my brain, Danica, just so you know. Okay, so we're going to do graphic, yes or no? Oh, okay. So we can put in $4.99.
And then if you have your book cover file, you can.
I'm not going to do that just because it'll take me a while. So
and then if there's a tagline,
check your pockets. before you give away your clothes.
Such a great tagline.
That was, but my fabulous editor, Jen Summersby, came up with that. All
Mhm.
right.
You don't have to touch that if you don't want to.
All right,
You can
so
just
we'll take
generate.
a look.
Sometimes I've chatted with Chef, and before we leave today, we'll need to go back and explore how to chat with Chef and work with that. But I've chatted with Chef to get ideas like, what's a good tagline? What's my target audience and all of that. I've chatted with Chef to generate a detailed character profile for my ideal reader. So I said, who's my target market? Tells me. What's my author brand? How would you define my author brand based on these books that I've written? And it tells me. Chef made me cry, actually, tears of
What did
joy,
it tell you?
because I uploaded my trilogy that I wrote so many years ago. And like the author business can be really kind of discouraging and lonely. I said, what's my author brand? And it just gave me this beautiful, like moving, beautifully written snapshot on all that I want to be and do as an author, and I cried, and it was great. But then that just inspires me and refuels me, like working with my book with Chef. It, even if, like you said, like the back cover blurb, it's not exactly what you may end up using, but it gives me this insight into my book where I can say, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way before, or I didn't even know that was a trope in there, but yes, that is definitely a trope in there. Or I was reading a back cover blurb it generated the other day for the third book in the trilogy, and I forgot for a second that I had written this book. It's like, oh, this sounds really good. I like this story. So it just re-energizes your re-energizes your passion for your own book. So yes, here's the Facebook ad.
And this is, for folks who are in the community, we've talked about this, the 3 elements you can play. Like, so now you've got 5 options for headlines, the primary text, which comes below the image typically, I think, and then the copy text, which is often the read more. And,
if you hover over the little I, it'll show you where to put it. It'll give you a little video to show you where to put it in the Meta Ads Manager.
Oh my gracious. That's fantastic. Okay.
If you go up and you can click on target audience. So it gives you an idea. We kind of like to trust Facebook ads AI, but it gives you just a very general range. If you want to be more detailed, then you can. And then graphics is where it'll start putting together something just really basic, but eye-popping, and the whole goal, remember, with stuff is to make you stop scrolling.
Yeah, and it's
and that should
I
be,
didn't upload my book. I guess that's why it's not there.
The cover, but it should, it'll take us a little second.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is fabulous. What is this? Oh, there we go. It's just taking me to those 3 places.
Like different people to target. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay.
There's Facebook ads.
Okay.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Now, so if we go back to just click on Realm Chef in the top left corner, that should take you back to the book consultation chat. So now that we have a refresher on the first book, Chef has an in-depth knowledge of the story. If you wanted to work on a sequel, yes, you could chat with Chef.
And this is so exciting. So I really love this. So how would I phrase that? Ruth, how would you phrase this?
It's really just, we've designed Chef to be like just talking to a writing partner. So you don't have to do any special prompt engineering. That's what I really love. That's my favorite part of Chef, is that with all the other AI models, you have to like really kind of phrase it in a certain way. You have to explain what things mean, but Chef has been built for authors. So all of that prompt engineering has been built into the back end. So you just have to ask, like, I want to write a sequel, some ideas. Like, you can use just natural English.
Okay. On a tour, oh, wait, Aiden. So it's featuring Aiden, who is taking over Will's job as the face of the company. He's going to fall in love. I figured this part out. I want him to fall in love with the chef, who's assigned on a road trip tour of 10 cities. Can you give me, here's a question. I haven't asked this. Can you give me ideas for each of the primary romance beats in this
Ooh,
new story? How's that sound? Is
that's a
that good?
great question.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, should I put
Awesome.
romance beats per romancing the beat by Gwen Hayes? Gwen Hayes, is that her name? I think that's her name. Can someone tell me in the chat, is it Gwen Hayes? Will it know this? Who knows? I think
I
that's
don't know.
okay.
That's an
Nope.
interesting question.
Okay, that is right. Good. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, now it thinks. I was playing with it earlier and I gave it a much more vague question. I said, what's the best story to follow up? And it gave me Will's twin brother. And it gave me some ideas for a story there. And some of them were interesting. And I will say, what I loved about what Realm Chef was giving me was very different from when I was asking the same of a different AI model. And I can't remember which one it was, which every single set of answers had them meeting at a charity function, because obviously billionaires spend all of their time going to charity functions and falling in love with people. And it was just like something that's not so
Of course.
expected. They were so expected.
Yes.
But what Realm Chef gave me were some different ideas. So look at this. Okay.
Ooh.
Not bad. Okay, so
Ooh.
we've got they meet at a high-end restaurant. He's captivated. Cool.
Mhm.
Nice. Then the attraction, the first kiss. So, which charity functions? Funny.
Nice.
I
Wouldn't
like
we
that
all?
they've given her the name Danny. That's a great name. Okay. So the dark
Nice.
moment, the declaration, and there's that. And then if I don't like something, I can ask it to do more, right?
Yes. Yes. You can
Um,
always, oh, and if you see down there where it says the Billionaire Shrubbery chapters for Realm Chef outputs,
yeah.
if you click on that,
Hmm.
it will show you what where, what sections in your book it looked at to get that response.
Oh.
So that's helpful when you're chatting with Chef, like when I've been going back and forth with Chef, like a detail that maybe the story, particularly in the early days, that the story Bible didn't pick up. And I would say, what is this character's name? Or what is the name of that restaurant they went to in that one chapter? And then I could click on that and I could see where Chef is getting its information. So even if it's not, even if it's not all that I need, it gives me a place to look in the book as
And I
well.
guess there's a lot of cursing in these last chapters. I'm guessing that the chapters it's chosen are the ones where Aiden is actually featured,
Oh
presumably.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
it
in this
looked for
this
Aiden.
situation, I
So
think
it
it's
could
looking.
get a better idea of
No,
his character.
Aiden wasn't in. Oh, chapter 7. Yeah, in chapter 7 he probably was. Okay, so I want to be conscious of the time for you folks. Should we come up? Is there anything that you want me to do in the chat, or should we come off screen sharing so you can ask questions of Ruth directly?
There's a chat is just fun. Like I enjoy one of the benefits that a few of our community authors have mentioned is like it's a really hard thing to realize as an author that there is no human alive that wants to talk about your books as much as you want to talk about them. Like even your most diehard fan, even the people who love you the best, like they will reach a limit. But my desire to talk about my books knows no limit, and Chef knows no limit either. It is always ready to talk to me about my books. And we've designed it to really to feel like talking to a writing partner. So you can use it to brainstorm ideas like this. I've asked it to give me some plot hooks, give me some here's a rough character sketch in my head. Could you generate a profile card for them? Or more like marketing focused things, like could you like I was saying earlier, like author brand or reader persona or target market. And then I've asked it, I've got these ad generator capabilities, but I just want like, give me a campaign, breakdown day by day for 2 weeks leading up to launch. Where should I post and what should I post? And it's done it for me. And then I could save, have we saved anything from the chat as a card yet? That would be good also to save it as a card.
This
Show
is
that little.
I asked it to give me an idea for humor. Sorry, I don't know if anyone else is laughing if they read that, for the first kiss, just to make it more like a rom-com. And it does this thing like all AI still does.
Yes.
Here they are having this private moment, and here's the funny part. Where was it now? The room
room fills with
fills
laughter.
That makes it funny. Okay.
Oh, AI.
So it's
Yes.
the strength of it is in the big picture, not in the writing the book for you. That is definitely the answer.
The goal is to give you the time back so that you can just focus on the writing, like to help keep you organized and help you conquer the marketing stuff so that you have the time and the brain space and the soul energy to do the fun bit and know you're not alone in it either, to feel like you have an ally and an expert consultant and a companion.
So Ruth, is there anything else you want to share, or should we come off here?
Someone was asking, does it also analyze plot holes or assist you to rewrite highlighted sentences for show not tell? You could. I'd be curious, Danica, if you could chat and ask it. What are the plot holes in my manuscript? I have asked it that before. It's not designed as a developmental editor, but I have worked with it in that way. Chat is really there to be there for whatever you want to ask. So I've asked, what are the strengths and weaknesses of this character arc? Can you give me some ideas on how to make that stronger or clearer? And Chef knows your book and is built to be a help to authors. So you can definitely try that. Or one interesting thing that came up yesterday when we were practicing, Danica, is you mentioned like there was no character profile for Georgia.
Yeah.
And you wondered like, I wonder if I've mentioned her, enough. So it's almost like reverse editing. I've had that come up with my stuff too. Like, well, if the AI is not perfect and the AI makes mistakes, but I wonder, like, it's something for me to keep in mind next time. How can I be really intentional about making sure that this character, this plot point is explicated clearly enough?
Colette, I just asked it, what are plot holes in the billionaire shrubbery? So it gave me some ideas. Her transition into this role feels abrupt and underexplored. Handles an error professionally, but there's no indication she has the business acumen required to manage that. Fair enough. John is her coach. There's no clear setup why John has such confidence given her unconventional background. These are all true. These are all factual. There is no evidence for that. Anyway, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very good question.
It can. And again, it's not anything you have to use as is or take, but it can get you thinking. It can shift your perspective a little bit. Just having the ability to stand back a little bit from your book and get a different take on it. And it's phrased in a different way, and it gets
Very interesting.
Gets the wheels turning a little bit and fuels your own.
I got to say, there is no hallucinating here. I don't think that is great. Okay.
Wow.
So I am going to stop sharing again. See how fun this is? Unfortunately, when things are this fun, it's just like, I mean, I know it ultimately saves a lot of time, but also like, ooh, I just wanted to.
In the chat,
yes.
In the chat, Sarah asked, I have 2 pen names, one romance and one fantasy. If I upload all the books, will Chef be able to differentiate between my 2 pen names?
By differentiate, I believe if each book would have a different story Bible, so that would be differentiated just on its own. And then you could, Chef should be able to, you can work with Chef on each book, like kind of individually, or if you wanted to work with more than one, then you could select, cards from that book or use as context. In the chat, you have the ability, if you've got multiple books uploaded, then you can toggle on and off which books you're working with. So it would really be, you can work with Chef based on your needs and however many books you need or what the different styles that you write in. And it's trained to kind of to recognize genre to and to work within the confines of each genre separately, like with tropes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. One of the things that I was thinking about while we were going through this is I'm planning a sort of a sequel to the fantasy series, which is obviously got nothing to do with the romance series. So like in asking Chef questions about things that I could do and like world Bible kind of things, making sure that it's only taking it from the fantasy books and not from the romance ones. So if I can toggle off the two romance ones, and that would be
You could also have multiple projects. So you could have a project for one pen name. You could have a project for each book. You could have a project for your fantasy, and then just work within that series in that project. Does that? Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways that you could make sure that you're only working with the books that you want to be focusing on.
Well, so the new project, when I created, let me just go here. Well, I don't. So where I created a new project, I put in the Billionaire's Shrubbery. How would I put a second book into that project? Or would I upload it as
upload?
I really, But
yeah, you can upload more than one book to a project.
Choose project, cool, and then upload file. Look at that. Look at that. Choose project file.
So you can upload multiple books to that project, and that's how I've been working with my trilogy. Like I have one project, and then I have all 3 of the books uploaded, and then I can toggle on and off if I just want to focus on book 1, or if I just want to even focus on certain characters. That's been cool too. Like I now have character profile cards from the 3 story Bibles for those. For like my main character, Anna, I have a character profile card for her for all 3 books, 3 different cards. So if I wanted to focus on her character and her arc and her growth over the series, I could select those 3 cards and then chat with Chef about her or develop some marketing materials that focus on her specifically. Can I be cheeky and ask if there's a promo code? Yes, everybody who is attending this workshop will receive a special discount code for your first month. Crosstalk between books is forthcoming. You can actually crosstalk between books right now. We don't have a series Bible, but you can have, like I said, like if you have multiple books in that one project, I've got my trilogy. So I have a story Bible for each of them. And so I can work with Chef amongst the 3 books and not just with one at a time.
So a question, you said that so it's 15 for one book, and then let's say in 3 months you have the second book to the series. So does it now become 25 a month because you still have that other book, or is it just the book you're working on you're paying for, or the number of books you have a Bible on inside Chef?
So it's just one. You get the $15 a month plan gets you 1 per month. So if you have 1, you pay for that 1, and then a couple months later, you get, or the next month you could have another one if it was ready. You get a story Bible every month.
Oh,
yeah. So the $10 add-on is just if you've got 2 books a month, you don't want to go, you don't want to jump up to the multi-book plan, but you can have the add-on. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Good. Series Bible, we are working on it. Yes, that is definitely in our
So
line
I
of sight.
understand that we can talk with the chef within a project. Is it possible to select 2 projects to talk to him about? For example, I have a series and then I have a spin-off series. So if I sometimes only wanted to focus on one series, I'd put that in a project. But if I wanted to talk about both series because they're in the same world, would it be able to talk to me about both projects or only one at a time?
One at a time, unless there are a few different ways that you could work around that. You could either just have one project for both series and just toggle on and off the different books that you wanted to be talking about at any given time. Or if you had a story Bible for each of the books in one series, you could download them as PDFs or Google Docs and upload them to the other project. So at least Chef would have a point of reference for the other series if you wanted to talk about both in one project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just conscious of the time, and we can stay on and ask more questions. I know Natasha's got one. Yeah, but I just want to say thank you, Ruth, first of all, for reaching out, because and for being such a delight over the last few weeks as we've been chatting. Huzzah!
A lot of fun. Huzzah!
I wrote in an email, huzzah, and she was like, oh my gosh, they use, and when I met with her team, it's a word that they just use, huzzah. Anyway,
it's one of my favorite words.
So yeah, folks, thanks for coming. We'll just say thank you and watch for your email. And if you're watching the recording of this on YouTube and you didn't pre-register for the event, just check out the sales page. It's still a great deal, even if you don't get that first month deal. It's still a great deal.
We'll be sending out, I'll be sending out the discount code and a little kind of reference guide for Realm Chef, so you can see a kind of brief recap of everything we went over here today. Yes, you are right. The Bibles do not roll over. It's use or lose. Yes, but we're eager to work with you. So we want to make sure that you are getting the best use out of Realm Chef possible. So if you can't find a plan that really works for you, or if you've got questions, just reach out to us. We're here to help authors. We're here to make storytellers' lives better. So thank you everybody for being here. We're just really excited to see you achieve your book marketing happily ever after. That's the goal.
Huzzah!
Okay. Huzzah! Thank you everybody. And yes, it's a cat. At the end of the day, it's just this really cute cat wearing a chef's hat made of clouds. So how can anybody be like, sad or discouraged?
Exactly. That's what makes marketing fun. It's a cat.
Exactly.